Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Happy September. I hope y'all are having a great start to the Burr months. Today I have a very chaotic and colorful build to share. As I said in my previous video, or possibly the one before last, I have been in a creative funk lately. None of my builds have really been hitting, so I decided to go out and spend some money on some kits, which in the past I have been against, but sometimes you need some fresh content to mess around with in order to get the creative juices flowing. So I went out and bought 5 new to me kits. I got the Pastel Pop, the Cozy Kitsch, the Kitchen Clutter Kit, the Grange Mudroom, and the bathroom kit that I can't remember the name of right now. Honestly, I was getting FOMO with the Grange Mudroom kit, so I was probably going to end up getting that one in the end. But I decided to buy a couple more just to feel justified in my purchase, so here we are. Now, these kits don't necessarily go together, but I felt inspired to make the most colorful build and kind of just do whatever I wanted with no real theme in mind. I think I ended up, for the most part anyways, using one kit as a theme per room and then mixing in the others as accents. So the entryway uses all the mudroom stuff, the bedroom is kind of pastel pop themed, the bathrooms use the bathroom kit, and so on. I also use the other kits I have as well, so this ends up literally just being a base game and kit only house, which is kind of exciting. I don't use any other packs, so if for some reason you only have the base game and these kits, you can download this house. It should be up in my gallery if you want to go check it out. But I kind of just had a lot of fun just zoning out and using all the kits that are new to me. I also think I found some staples that I will use in every house I build from now on, like the artwork and the rugs, to be specific. Also, I didn't know that the fireplace from the Kitsch kit wasn't a real fireplace, so that was a fun thing to discover. But here we are just figuring out the floor plan a little bit, and it's 1 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, dining, living room, and an office. And here we are starting in the entryway using the Grange mudroom stuff, which I was really excited to use. I used them in this yellow swatch. I had originally, I think, done like the pink or like the white swatch, but I changed my mind to yellow because yellow is my favorite color, and also I just like the yellow one the best. And then I also mix in some other kits in here as well. I use the Everyday Clutter kit, and then I really just wanted to use mostly just the new kits because they're new to me, and I wanted to use as many of the new items as I could. So here I am putting some bags on the wall. I used the this mail clutter. I used the other bag that we got in this kit. Also realized that it was really dark in here and couldn't see what I was doing, so I put in some lights. I think for the most part in this house, I don't use the subtle saucer lights. I use them to see, and then I delete them to put in like the lights from like the kits and stuff. I've noticed that I've been doing that a lot lately, where I'll put like those saucer lights in, and then once I get done with a room, I will take them out and I will put in the lights that I actually want to use. So it gives the builds like more realistic like lighting, I guess, and it isn't so like harsh. You will see me a couple times try to use the hanging light from the Cozy Kitsch kit, but I didn't realize how massive it was. Like it's really big. So I think I only end up using the light in one spot in the house, and if I don't end up using it, I think the only thing I use is the lamp from that kit, which I love that lamp. It's so cute. Also the plant, I think that plant's from the bathroom kit. That plant is stunning. I love it. Um, but yeah, and then all throughout the house I use this light wood floor. And then here in the entryway I use the wallpaper from the Pastel Pop kit. I use the strawberry swatch. I think it looks really cute here. And then I just used some matching pink wallpaper from that same kit. And then you'll notice that the doors and the windows are pink. Originally, I was going to make the outside of the house pink, but then I go back in later and I changed the color of it. I think I changed it to like white or black or something. But I will probably end up changing my mind again before I upload this to the gallery because this is not up yet. But like I said, it should be up by the time this video goes live. And then I'm just putting in some last few clutter items in here. Also, this picture hanging up on this wall over here, I'm probably going to overuse this picture from now on because it's so cute. This little tiny plant, I love it. The hanging plant from the bathroom kit, love that plant too. It is so, so cute. I also stick a base game clock up here on the wall. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this entryway space. I think it looks really cozy. It looks colorful, bright, exactly the thing that I was going for in this house. And then we're going to pretty much be moving on into the hallway and just putting a few decorations in here. I used the wallpaper from the Grange Mudroom kit. It's a really, really pretty wallpaper. I love it. I used this one, and I also used the paneling one. I think I used the paneling one in the living room, and then I love the rug from this kit. I used the table from the Pastel Pop kit. And yeah, I just kind of mix and match these kits all together. They don't necessarily, like I said, go together, but I think the way that I use them, the house kind of feels like cohesive and like one unit. So when I was making this house, I pictured like an old lady living here, and which might be a little strange, but I figured that it was like an old lady and she's retired, and she's used her like retirement paychecks to decorate her house how her younger self could have only like have dreamed for the house to be. I also pictured her as like this really big gamer, and she writes fantasy novels, and she also hosts game nights with all of her friends. And also maybe this old lady has a partner who lives with them, maybe they don't. I also imagined a cat would live here as well, which if you hear any noise in the background, it is my cat trying to get the bugs outside because it's dark outside so she can see all the moths just flying at the window, which is fantastic. But I'm not using any of the other packs in this build, so there's no pet things in the house, but you can add those if you wish. But this house does give off cat energy, also kind of golden retriever energy, if you will. But here I am trying to hang up a pride flag in the hallway. I don't end up hanging a pride flag in here. I end up putting one in the dining room later, which is still the pansexual one. I thought that was a nice touch to put in this house. And then we are finishing up the hallway, and we're going to be moving on into the bedroom. I don't normally start in the bedroom, but I kind of just wanted to work from what room I felt inspired to do at the time, and I really wanted to work on the bedroom because I really wanted to play around with the pastel pop stuff. So this room is kind of, I thought I was going to do like a pink I thought I was gonna do a pink room. I am so sorry. My cat just literally ran through her tunnel behind me and it scared me. And I was gonna do a pink room, but I ended up doing this like periwinkle, like green-blue color scheme, which I think looks really pretty in here. I also tried to play off the pink and the yellow off of the bedspread, which I don't think necessarily works, but also I think that's kind of the theme of the house, is it doesn't really go, but you know what, we make it work anyways. But as we start to decorate this room, I'm going to be putting up some gamer posters. I'm going to be using the desk and using that cute little iPad like laptop thing that honestly I've seen people use like so many builds that I've kind of been jealous that I don't have in my game, but now I have it, so I'm going to be using it quite a lot. And then I use this lamp from the Blooming Rooms kit, and we're just going to be sort of decorating this. It really does look like a little kid's, like little teenager, the young adult type of room. But like again, I imagine an old lady living here. If you want to have a young adult sim living here, you're more than welcome to. I just pictured an old lady living here because I thought it would just be a fun story to tell. Also, I don't really play with elders that much, so I thought that would be kind of fun too. I might end up taking screenshots with an old lady living here, so that'll be kind of fun. But as we continue to decorate this, I just kind of wanted to catch you guys up on some things. First of all, I am doing a lot better since my last few videos that I posted. I don't hate going to work as much anymore, which is a nice change. And then while I built this house, I had Sabrina's new album on loop, which you can probably see at the top there. I'm listening to Manchild at the moment, and I'm not gonna lie, her albums aren't always a hit with me. I've loved the past two. Emails and Short and Sweet, and then her first couple of albums. But she kind of lost me during her Singular era. I only liked a few of the songs off of that album, but because like it just wasn't really my vibe. However, Man's Best Friend is honestly album of the year material. It makes me want to be petty. Like, I feel this overwhelming need to just have no cares about anything. I think my top 5 from the album are Nobody's Son, We Almost Broke Up, Never Getting Laid, My Man on Willpower, and Goodbye. But honestly, the whole album is Chef's Kiss. You all ever get like out of a situation and you finally start reflecting on it and you're like, oh, why did I want to go back to that? Literally, this album has helped me process so much and realize that I'm kind of glad it's over. So thanks to Sabrina for that. It's been really great, really eye-opening. Also, didn't realize that some of her songs were actually super, super relatable. Like, my top 5 are probably the songs I relate to the most on the album. If I could throw Manchild in there, probably would too, because that song's super relatable. Which you kind of don't want to relate to those songs, but at the same time, it's like, I never thought I would relate to songs like that, but you know what, here we are. And then speaking of music, Life of a Showgirl comes out next month, and I'm so excited for some new Taylor music. I know I'm gonna love it. Being a Swiftie literally for the last 17 years, she literally has yet to let me down. I love every single one of her albums, all of her songs. Not to mention, she's engaged now, and I'm just so happy for her. It was actually kind of funny because my coworkers, they all asked me about it. One of my coworkers was actually the person who told me about it. I hadn't even gone on Instagram yet when I went on my break, and she literally came in and told me she was engaged, and I was like, shut up. And I went on my Instagram, and it was the first post I saw, and I like lost my mind. It was a fun time for me. My boss even literally had like left for the day and she texted me about it. So I'm glad to know that I am the office's resident Swiftie. I will definitely be talking more about the album when it is out. I've been thinking about doing a build for it, or a Taylor Swift themed build. I already have one up in my gallery where I literally had a wheel and I spun it and it gave me an album, and I decorated a room based on that. The outside is actually Fearless themed, so I built it in the Yeehaw world in the Horse Ranch, from the Horse Ranch pack. It is up in my gallery if you want to download it. It's kind of just a silly, goofy build. But I was thinking about maybe doing another one, but filming it this time. We'll have to see. Also, rip to Red in that build. Red got the bathrooms. Sorry to the masterpiece that is Red, but you kind of got gypped in that. Like, it's like really difficult. It's like, wow, Red's such a like a good album and would make like a really good theme for some other room, but it got the bathroom. Like, it was not great. And then last bit of stuff to catch you up on, I finally finished the Throne of Glass series. Finished it last weekend, and let me tell you, there is a huge void in my life now that I have finished it. I honestly didn't know what to do with myself. I like felt like I had to be like reading it or something. Like, I felt like I needed to be reading it, but there was nothing else for me to read because it's like over now. And I'm still kind of processing a little bit. I have started to read a different book. I'm reading a murder mystery now, which is a complete 180 from the Throne of Glass series, but I needed to like pivot my brain to something else. And I'm just like, honestly, I'm in complete shock that she, spoiler alert, if you are reading Throne of Glass or anything, maybe don't listen to this part because I have to talk about it. The fact that she didn't kill a single main like narrator off, like, just astounds me. Like, I was prepared for like the absolute worst. I was prepared for Aline to die, for Kale to die. I was prepared for Manon or what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm already forgetting his name. Oh no. But I was already prepared for like the other like prince guy to die, not Rowan. I can't remember his name now, and I'm like so sad because I really liked him. He started to really grow on me towards the like last couple of books. But I was surprised that he didn't die either. I was like super shocked. But the deaths that did happen in the book, like, were super emotional. Like, I wasn't expecting to be that attached to those deaths in particular, but it was so, like, it was kind of like so jarring and shocking. Like, full transparency, thought I was gonna have like an Allegiant moment where, you know, main character sacrifices himself for someone and then you just get really upset and want to throw the book across the room. Literally thought I was gonna have that moment and didn't. Finished the book, everything was all happy and stuff, and now I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Absolutely have no idea what I'm supposed to do other than move on, which after I finish this murder mystery, I'm going to start reading the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, which, by the way, watching that show, if you are not Team Conrad, you need to like rewatch the show or something, because like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Also, people who are like pissed off and upset about the fact that like the way that the show is going, I don't understand like what you wanted. Like, truly do not understand what you wanted. Like, literally, I think the show's like perfect. It's going the way that it should be going. Everything is working out great. There's no quote unquote filler episode, which apparently people thought the last week's episode was like a filler episode, which I don't think it was. But I digress. Really looking forward to the last two episodes. Really hope Conrad gets in there and has a redemption arc, because why is everybody hating on him? Like, I'm glad he ruined the wedding. Honestly, I'm glad he ruined it. Jeremiah out here gaslighting Belly, making her feel bad and stuff. Like, yeah, sure, her and Conrad have some stuff that they did wrong and that they need to apologize for, but like, he literally cheated on her twice and is trying to make her feel bad about making him cheat on her. Jeremiah is literally the worst, the absolute worst. But anyways, we're going to talk about the build now. Enough about my life, enough about what's going on. I'm just wanted to give you guys a little update, and also just kind of wanted to yap and vent a little bit. But here we are in the office / library. It is very pink, it's very green. I wanted it to seem like originally her like gamer setup had like pink stuff. So I have like an old pair of headphones up on the shelf. I have a pink keyboard up on the shelf, and then she's kind of moved into her green era, if you will. So she has like a green desk, green chair, green keyboard, headphones, all that stuff sitting on the desk, and then she's got some gamer posters behind her. And then this is her collection of books. I don't necessarily think that these are like books that she's written. She loves to read. I did say that she likes to write fantasy novels. Maybe some like the books like above the bench thing are her books, even though those are like white and kind of boring. But maybe those are her books. But this is just like her little cozy reading corner. I wanted the office space to be cozy and very gamer focused. There's also a lot of stuff up here like memorabilia, sneakers, and then this basket clutter. Oh my gosh, I love this basket so much from the Grange Mudroom kit. It's so cute. Perfect clutter item. I also really like the side table that I use behind the desk from the Cozy Kitsch kit. I think it's also a bookcase, which is really interesting. And then I use these curtains from the Desert Lux kit. I put a chair in here from the Book Nook kit. And then I also use the stacks of books from the Book Nook kit. You don't see me putting those in here because couldn't figure out how to find them. It took me a while. But here we are in the living room. And this is where I find out that this fireplace isn't actually a real fireplace. Probably could have seen that from looking at it, but my eyes don't work apparently. And then I kind of mix in a lot of these pastel blues in here, like the blue from the Cozy Gamer kit rug. Kind of goes really well with the Cozy Kitsch couches, which, by the way, those couches, beautiful, gorgeous, love them. We'll probably be using them way too much now that I have them. But this is kind of like her hangout space where she hangs out with her friends. Also, these pictures on the wall from the kitchen clutter kit, I love those pictures so much. They are so freaking cute. I thought they looked so good. I kind of like matched the frames up. If I could rearrange them, I might put the broccoli where the lemon is and put the lemon one in the middle because it doesn't have a face. But I also kind of did it by color, so it was like blue, pink, blue. But anyways, I also used a fall picture above the fireplace for the frame TV because we're in the Burr months in fall. I also use this radio. I didn't know that this radio came with the Cozy Kitchen kit, so I was really surprised about that. Love the old school radio. I was worried that I was going to block the TV, but honestly, one, your Sims don't care about it. Also, this plant was when I realized that the fireplace was fake, and I was like, oh no, it's not a real fireplace. So I struggle a little bit to find out what to put in there. I end up putting, I think, some candles from the pastel pop kit. I think about putting those in there for a little bit, the ones that came with the Kish kit, but I decided not to use those in there anyways. I'm pretty sure I used the little squiggly candles from the pastel pop kit in there, and I think they look really cute in there. I also think those candles are just really cool in general. I don't know how often I'm going to use those candles just because they don't have they're not like on a jar or like on a base or anything. They're just candles that are out, but they're really nice to put in this like fireplace here, which colors match that fireplace so well. Crazy. Again, these kits, and not at all the same theme, but they all for some reason match, which is crazy. And then I put a gaming console in here. I put a games table, which took me quite a while to figure out what to put behind the couch. It seems like I show almost my entire struggle putting it down, because I originally put the table down at first with like some black and white chairs, and I was like, first of all, black and white chairs in this house? I don't think so. I got rid of them because I was like, I don't know what to put here. It doesn't look like I struggle, but I sit there and I think about it for a while before I pull out the game table again. I'm like, nah, this lady, she invites over her friends and they play some cards, and they play whatever type of game that you can play at the table. You can do like puzzles now with the Growing Together kit, and then if you have the Star Wars kit, you can play that Star Wars game. I personally don't have the Star Wars pack. I don't think I will ever have the Star Wars pack unless for some reason that Star Wars pack ends up being free. I think that is the only time that Star Wars pack will ever end up in my game, is if it's free. That is also how I felt about the My First Pet stuff. It was finally free, so I finally slapped it into my game. But here we are. This is me trying to decide on a rug. I almost thought about repeating the rug from the entryway, and I was like, nobody's really going to notice that, right? No, but you zoom out and you can really tell that I reused the rug. So I decided not to use the rug. I don't even remember if I even put a rug in here or if I just leave the game table just on the floor. I think I might just leave the game table on the floor and don't put a rug in here because I just couldn't make up my mind about what rug to use. But I also used the corkboard from the pastel pop kit back there. I figured that maybe the people who live here, they have a lot of, pen pals that they get postcards from, so they collect all the postcards and put them up on the thing, and I just thought that would be like really cute. And I think this is the only time I use this light is over the games table. And then there is a little cut of me there because I was like trying to figure out if there was anything else I wanted to put in here, and it took me a little bit. But then I decided, nah, there's nothing else I want to put in here. And then here's me struggling with the rug. I think I do. Do I end up just... I do actually. I actually use the same rug from the other room. That's crazy. I thought I got rid of it, but I didn't. So yeah, there's two identical rugs literally like right next to each other, which is crazy. But I am going to be using those chairs from the Cozy Kitchen kit way too often, along with the table. I just think that they are so cute, and they also look like something that you would just have like in any type of home out there. So I'm going to be using them everywhere, along with the sconce lights I keep putting up in this house. I think they're so gorgeous. But here we are in the dining room. I am using that table and chair set in here, and then I used a shelf from the pastel pop kit, and I also used the plant stand from the Blooming Rooms kit, which I forget exists quite a lot. So, I'll probably find it now, and then I will probably use it for a little bit, and then I'll forget that it exists again. But like when I put this like shelf in here, I just, there's probably a name for like the design choice I got going on in this space. I feel like I was like mostly going for getting rid of millennial gray trend that's going on now, because you know how like all those people on Insta, and I'm pretty sure on TikTok, which is an app I never use, never get on. I think I had it downloaded on my phone one time, because somebody wanted me to have it because they were tired of sending me TikTok links and text messages. So I downloaded the app, quickly got rid of it afterwards because I hated it. But like it's where like they show the people absolutely going like wild with their home decor choices and making them like really outlandish and crazy. I think overall that was the vibe I was going for here, which is why I continue to use that strawberry wallpaper everywhere. I use it here in the dining room, it's in the entryway, it's in the bedroom. I love that wallpaper. I'm gonna be using it in a bunch of kids' rooms, probably a bunch of teen rooms. And then the wallpaper from the Grange Mudroom kit, I'm probably gonna be using that wallpaper a lot as well. There's just so much good stuff in these kits, and I hate that they're in $5 kits. I really hate it. But I digress. I bought them. Here we are. We're finishing up the dining room now. I used the paneling from the book note kit. I also used it in the office as well. And then you will see that I did put the pansexual pride flag like clutter item over there on the wall. I really like that one. Honestly, that's probably one of my favorite pride items that we got in that pride update that came with like the bed and stuff. I just think it's really, really cool. I really like the wall collage with like the mirror and the pictures. I just wish you could size it down without making the mirror like really funky, because I was going to put it in the entryway you saw, but it was just too big, so it didn't fit. But here's the kitchen, and I want to preface this with I got so incredibly overwhelmed in here. Like, there was so much clutter I wanted to use, and I tried to use literally everything. And then I forget to fix some of it, specifically by the sink. And I also forget to change some of the swatches on the stuff. But I really fell in love with the kitchen kit, and I fear my life will never be the same. Same thing with this base game counter set. I fear my life will never be the same because of this this counter like thing from the base game. The counter set is the word I'm looking for is set. I fear I just will never get over it and will never stop using it, and I'm so sorry, but it's the best counter set in the entire game. And it's base game, which is great and amazing. But here I am, starting to clutter up the kitchen. I use the wheelie cart counter piece. I use the cereal boxes, the cookie thing, the baking thing, the recipe iPad holder, the knife block, the base game spice rack, and then I get rid of it and get the new spice rack, and then here is the dish rack and the sink, and we're not going to see it yet, but you're going to see me put some soap over here, and then I'm just going to forget about it and just move on with my life. But like that fridge, the magnets and the pictures on it, like, are you kidding me? It is the cutest thing in the game. But here I am, cluttering up the space. I do remember that the space needs to be functional, so I will leave at least one counter free of clutter. And I use these little jars over here. I don't know what's in these jars, but they're here. They're colorful. They go with the vibes. I also get out the cookie jar. I get out this utensil cup. I get out those like pasta jar thingies. I get out the timer. I don't remember if I get out the scale, but I get out this Lazy Susan Turner thing. Oh, nope. I do get out the scale, and I make it purple. I also give us a microwave, so it's one less counter I have to clutter up. And then I get out these pasta containers over here. I think there's like rice in there, and then there's some like green ones and like red ones. Don't know what's in there, but we use them. And there we go. Me putting the soap on the sink, and then I never move it, so you're welcome. It will be moved before I upload this to the gallery and take my final screenshots at the end of the build. I think I'm also going to change the outside of the house, which is why you don't see it in the speed build portion, because honestly it's kind of boring and I'm not super proud of it, so I'm probably going to change it before I upload it to the gallery. But we are reaching the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed my yap session. Like I said, this will be up on my gallery by the time this video goes live. It's under my name, Lissa Marie 23. Hopefully this build has rejuvenated my brain. I do have a few days off coming up from work, just like, standard days off, where I will hopefully be able to record and post more videos. I will also hopefully have more up before the year is over, so hopefully this is not my last video that I'm posting for the year. But thank you so much to everybody who has subbed to the channel. It means a lot. If you have ever liked my videos, or those few that have maybe watched all of my videos, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I don't post that often, so when I come on here and post a video, that's when I see all my subs and stuff. It's greatly appreciated. So I hope I see you guys in the next one. Bye!